Hey guys, and today I'm back with my tutorial on modding Stardew Valley. Today on episode 3 we're moving on to map and tile properties. We're going to be adding some warps into the location, we're going to be adding some music, we're going to add items that you can interact with, and we're going to make it look a little bit better. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and open up tiled, close these. I'm going to go ahead, open file, and go to desktop, our tutorial mod that we're making, go to assets, and then load the map up. Okay, cool. So now we're back on our map. Obviously it's not the most glamorous map, but we can work on that later. Now, as you'll notice, if we go into the buildings layer, you'll see that there's no buildings on the outside. So the player will just be able to walk off the map. You know, we don't want that, that's rubbish. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to back layer, we're going to use the stamp tool to copy the entire top row, buildings, and then paste it onto the buildings layer. And now we have that as buildings, so the player can't walk through it. Do the same with all 4 edges. That will give the player a little boundary area that they can walk into. Okay, now we've got this little boundary area, I think we can start to add some more complex things. At the minute, if you remember last episode, the building, the map was indoors, like the rain wasn't falling down. We don't want that, because that makes no sense. The rain would be falling down because this is an outside location. So go to map and map properties. You see here you got all your map properties. Press here, custom properties, make a new one, call it outdoors, not outdoor. Make sure this is a capital O. Press OK, and just type the letter T in there. That just means true. We can't use a bull because I don't think Stardew Valley accepts bulls, and I think Smappy goes a bit crazy with some tile properties and all that kind of thing. So just leave that as outdoors T, and now that means when we walk onto the map there will be rain able to fall, the seasons will be affected, you know, all that good stuff. The light will work properly. Now our location's not very pretty, which is a bit of an understatement. So we're going to go ahead and make it look a little bit prettier. So go ahead and open up your content unpacked file. For me, I'm going to have to go to Stardew Valley and open that. There's some files, content unpacked here. Now I'll go to maps and we're going to get spring. Outdoors, spring outdoors tile sheet. Make sure you pick this one, not the one with the other letters, because they have different meanings. This one, for example, is Korean. This one's in Korean. We're making our mod for English. Obviously, we'll probably move on to translations later. That one's Japanese. That one's Italian, Hungarian, French, Spanish, I think. And there's a bunch of other ones, but we're just going to be using the English version for this. So go ahead, Control C to copy it, and then open up our desktop on another window. Go to our mod folder, assets, paste this in. There we go. Now do the same thing for the summer one. Summer town, Control C, Control V. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Summer outdoors there. Control C, Control V. For outdoors tile sheet, yep, there. Winter, Control C and Control V. And that's all the 4 seasons. We've got some extra tile sheets there we're going to be able to use. So remember the process from last episode. I'm going to go ahead, get a new tile sheet, browse, go to our mod folder, assets. Spring outdoors tile sheet, add that, make sure this box is ticked, make sure everything's set to 16 pixels, and then press OK. And now I have another tile sheet which has some more outdoors type things. Yeah, they're quite fun to work with. Because this one doesn't have grass or anything. It has these little grass like borders, but we can't just make a bunch of borders everywhere. That would look stupid. Look. See how? Yeah, that's ugly. Ugly. Very bad. It's not what we want. So, gonna go ahead and add a little bit of grass. Go ahead with this tile. Add some grass here. We'll tidy it all up. Oh yeah, notice the this is not appearing here because of our buildings layer, but we'll fix that later. So make sure you're colouring even over the buildings layer. Just add grass wherever you want to add it. This is your location. Now we're gonna spruce, tidy it up a little bit. So I'm gonna have this on each corner. Oh crap, sorry. Doing the wrong thing here. This is what we want. Just go ahead, tidy this up a little bit. So now we're going to copy the back layer again onto the buildings layer, just so that the tiles aren't overlapped. Do the same thing here. Okay, and now we've got our own little grass patch. The game won't recognise this as grass, so you remember how we did with the stone tiles, we made them all type stone? Do the same thing with the grass. So go here to the tile options, this is tile, custom property, type, and grass, and save that. Perfect. Now go back to the spring town. We're gonna make these little border tiles as stone. So select all these border tiles in the tile sheet editor. Type stone. Do the same thing for this one. Type stone. Save that. Alright, perfect. Got our own little nice grass patch kind of thing. You know, it looks pretty cool. So we're going to add a little bit more decoration to this. So I'm thinking maybe we should add a tree just here. I'm going to put these leaves on always front. Going to move them down one tile because I misjudged that. Now we've got a nice little tree, which looks pretty cool. It's not one of the ones you can chop down, it's just a decorative one, but it looks pretty cool. I think we should add a fence. Yeah, we'll go ahead and add a fence. Here. Yeah, that'll look cool. Just there. Now add that there. And then do this on the front layer. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong tile. It's this one that we're looking for. Put that. There is the edge. Alright, we've got a nice little fence here now. But the rest of this area is looking pretty bare. So we'll just pick a little building. Maybe. I don't know, we'll go with the Hat Mouse's house. Just put that up here. Nice little abandoned house, that's pretty cool. Always front there. Put this on buildings, that makes more sense as well. And then all this up here onto always front. Doesn't matter if it goes off the map a little bit, that's fine, perfectly fine. Our map, we can do what we want. Okay, so we've started to make the location look a little bit more good, I suppose. Now we're going to start moving on to sprucing it up a little bit with tile properties and map properties, which they can add to the way that a map handles, or it's experienced by the player. So we're gonna go ahead and go to map properties here. Gonna go to add property. Gonna call this one music. So we're gonna add some music to our location. Now this link here will be in the description. But just go to this link, and there's a whole list of map properties that you can have. But we're gonna focus on the music one right now. It's this one. For music string names, you're going to want to go ahead and open this document, which will also be linked in the description. Go to the music bank IDs, and then there's a ton of IDs, and it tells you which song they are, so you don't have to worry about that. So for now, we're just going to do Control F, search for town. You know what, we'll go with Distant Banjo. I like that one. So we're going to go back to the map. Distant Banjo. Exactly as it is on the document. That means that song will now play in this location, which is really cool. We're going to go back to our maps thing. We're going to have a look for some more properties that we're going to want to add. We'll go for maybe... go for... I can't really think of anything that we use at the minute. Most of these are indoors. Okay, we'll move on to tile properties now. So tile properties are similar to map properties, but they only apply to one single tile. And as you remember, a tile is one of these little square shapes. So we're going to go ahead and go on to the objects layer of buildings, not the tile layer. This is this one. Objects layer is different. And then you're going to want to select this tool, which is like a rectangle with an arrow. But before we do anything, we're going to want to go to view and go to snapping and go and select snap to grid. Because if you don't have snap to grid, then you're going to be able to do all these weird shapes. We don't want that. We're going to be wanting a nice clean shape. So snapping, snap to grid. So we're going to add a tile property on the ruined house first. Ruined house. We're going to call it tile data. That means that the game will now recognize that this is some tile properties that we're adding. I'm going to go to custom properties, add, and call this action. Action just means when the player right clicks on it, it will do something, or does whatever button it is on controller. I don't know what button it is, A or something. So we're going to add some dialogue. When you right click this building, it's going to say, oh, the building is abandoned, or whatever you want to say. So type dialogue and then put whatever you want the building, or whatever, not the building, whatever you want it to say when you interact with the building. So we're going to put, I don't know, the building looks pretty abandoned. So now we've got this tile data. We don't just want it on that one tile, that'd be weird. So I'm going to Control C, and you can copy it to all of these tiles with Control V. And now you've got it on all tiles. The player will be able to walk up to that and interact with it, and it will say the house is abandoned, or whatever we said. The building looks pretty abandoned. Okay, now we have some basic tile properties, and we set up a little bit more decoration. The map looks a little bit cooler and everything, but there's no way to actually get to the location. So what we're going to do, we're going to add a warp. This is a map property. I'm going to go ahead and call add property warp. This is the warp out that we're making first. As you can see here, this is everything listed. This can be kind of confusing if you don't know what they mean. Int just means a whole number, and string just means like text. So sets, the word sets would be a string, the letter S would be a string, a full SA would be a string, but obviously your location is not an SA, it's just a name. So int from x is the x coordinate of where the player is going from, and then the same thing for the y, but on the y coordinates. 2x is the x coordinate on the new map that they're going to be warped to, and the same thing for the y, but on the y coordinate. And obviously 2 area is which map they're going to. And when I say map, I don't mean map like map. I mean map as in location. As you can see here on our content file, where we added it, the name is custom village, but the map name is map.tmx. So we're going to be warping to custom village. So we're going to go ahead, open up some of the Stardew maps. So we have our maps here, so we're going to go ahead and go to our unpacked content file that we have, which is in your Stardew Valley thing. I've made a shortcut for it here. So we're going to go to content unpacked, go to maps. We're going to add our warp in the town map, which is down here somewhere. Yeah, town here. I'm going to add it in this map. So open that up. This is the Stardew Valley town map, as you can see. And we're just going to add our warp somewhere. I don't know, we'll say here. We'll remove this cliff here. To actually no, because there's a bush there. What about? Obviously, you can add this wherever you want. I'm just choosing a good location. Ah, this looks nice. Yeah, we'll add it here, or remove it here rather. So go ahead and remove that there. Just remove all this, remove these. Remove this. Oh no, you can leave that tree there actually. Change these back tiles, because there won't be shadow there. That makes no sense for there to be shadow there. Oh, come on. There's another one there. Yeah, that'll work. And then here, add some more. Where are these? Whatever. You can make it look however you want it to. I'm just gonna have something basic for now, so we'll make it like that. Obviously that's really ugly, but for now it's, it works, I guess. Fill this tree in. So we're gonna add our warp here. We'll say on this tile, this one, which you can see at the bottom left in the corner here, down here, is 119.26. So we'll make a mark of that somehow. We'll add something here. Or landscape. We'll just add something to mark that it's here. We'll add two flowers as a kind of gateway to our location. 119.26. So our warp out is going to be to 119.26. The warp we'll put it here. Oh no, actually, we can put it there somewhere, but we'll need to sort this out because it doesn't make sense for the warp to be there, because there's stone there, but there's no stone in the town map there. So remove that like that. Replace that with that on the buildings layer. Same thing with this bottom tile. And then we can add our warp. So we'll add it, say here, 112. I'm going to go to map properties, 112, and the map is called town. We're warping to 119.26. Now we've set a warp out, we're going to do the same thing but in. So for this, we're going to have to use Content Patcher's AddWarps feature. So see this custom locations thing? Go ahead, do a comma, and create a new changes section like that with these curly brackets, and then add another set of curly brackets, I believe. Sorry, I've told you the wrong thing there. You need to have square brackets. Yeah, because it's an array. Yes, of course. So here in this changes thing, we're going to do action, and the action we're doing is we're editing a map. So edit. The target is maps/town. Yep, we're editing the town map. And we're going to want to go to the thing we're adding. AddWarps is what we're doing. Adding warps to our location. And then for AddWarps, you're going to see here, I think. Here, no, okay. Oh, map overlay. Sorry, here. There's an explanation of how it works here. So, AddWarps, add an array here, and then speech marks here for our warp. And our warp is, we're doing this outside the map. This is how Stardew like vanilla does its warps. Outside the map, like one tile out. So we won't add the warp there, we'd add it here. I don't know why, but it runs really smoothly and it looks good. So 120.26, 120.26, and then our location name, which is custom village, and then the tiles that we're warping the player to, and they warp out at 112, so we'll warp them back in at 212. I'm sorry if I went a little bit fast for you there, but I'll put all this in the description so you can just copy it all if you kind of got lost a little bit there. But we've added our warp, that's all we needed for our warp. It seems confusing at first, but you know, once you get the hang of it, it's really fun, and it gets, you know, you'll know it off by heart eventually. So now we're gonna save this, close the town map, we don't need that anymore. Yep, close the town map, we don't need that. And then we're gonna go ahead, press X on tiled, close Visual Studio, close Chrome, and now we have our mod, which is here. Okay, sorry about this. Anyway, yeah, so now we're going to go ahead and test the mod. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Smarpy to do that. Oh, by the way guys, make sure you put it into your mod folder before running, otherwise obviously nothing's going to change. Alright guys, as you can see, back in Stardew, we're going to do the debug warp thing that we did last episode to get to our location. Debug warp, bring it in our location, which is custom village, we might have a different name. We're going to warp the player to 1010 because we know that's good. Alright, perfect. Now we're in our location. You can see it's raining, we're outside. I'm going to quickly test our tile property, check that it works. Yeah, and see there, that looks pretty cool. The building looks pretty abandoned. Walk down here, test the grass. Yeah, and that's making a grass noise. Our fence looks pretty cool. Yep, you'll see these black bars at the side, but that's because of the size of the map. So if you make the map bigger, then they won't occur. It's just because of the size of the map. It also occurs on the bus stop map if you have the maximum zoom out enabled. So now we're gonna go test our warp, which was right here, there. And obviously you can't move because this is an out of bounds area, and the player's not meant to be able to get here. But there is a warp there, and that will work. But it doesn't right now, because we haven't replaced the town map or anything like that. So that's where we're going to end it this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. There's been a few hiccups. Yeah, I hope you are enjoying this series. I'm enjoying making it. I hope you guys are, learning a lot, getting a lot out of it. And I hope I'm helping you make the mod of your dreams. But yeah, that's going to pretty much do it for this episode. In the next episode, we'll take a look at changing this map so we can get up here. And I'll see you next time, guys.